So, welcome to the first episode of Driven by Obsession. Um, Today's guest for the first episode is Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
Yo.
He's an ultra runner, high rocks machine, and also a rapid athlete. You can already see the head. Do you want to? Yeah, put it in front. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to introduce. Rapid athlete, signed with Rapid in after the LSU actually when I crewed Kim. I've always ran, done sports, played football for a long time.
Yeah,
Similar story to probably a lot of guys. Had some big injuries and then obviously had to leave that. And yeah, just fell into. I used to run a lot as a kid, and then um, just as I got older, I got back into it with the craze. To be fair, I got into it before the craze, before everyone started running 50Ks, 100Ks every weekend.
yeah,
Uh, but I got into it doing similar, like just going and doing these crazy runs of like minimal training. And
yeah.
yeah, then we found ourselves crewing some psychotic German kids at a backyard, and now
Yeah.
we're here.
Nice. So, but this year you're going back to the LSU, but as a runner, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How's the training going for you? I always see the weeks on Instagram. You're progressing nicely. So
Yeah. So to be honest, the build for it has been pretty perfect. Like I've banked a lot of mileage in the last year, just from training for other things. Um, the past like before the prep like officially started in like I'd say like February March. A lot of my
mhm.
training was focused on high rocks, but I was
Yeah,
still getting like good mileage weeks
yeah,
and getting a lot of time on feet. But just a lot of my gym work was centered around high rocks. And then when I found out I was doing LSU, and confirmed. Then we just sort of went all in on building mileage, getting strong, sorting the fundamentals, and like that's also a big part of that is in the gym, which I
yeah,
think a lot of people neglect. And a lot of it has just been controlling fatigue. You see a lot of these guys, especially with social media, they just kill themselves and they're just
yeah,
doing like crazy mileage that their body can't like actually recover from. So a big thing is just being like listening to the body, take it, pulling back when I need to, pushing when I can,
yeah.
and yeah, feel fucking
What?
good.
What's your approach with the mileage? Because I don't see every single run, but do you doing hard miles or mostly easy probably? But
Yeah, so I don't really post like individual runs. I'll more just
yeah,
post snippets from a workout and then caption it with a little catchy caption. And then I post like end of week like totals. Um, yeah, so I do a mix of both. Obviously, before I was doing more like thresholdy, harder stuff, and then the past like 3 4 months has been I try to keep at least 1 to 2 hard workouts a week. So whether that be
mhm,
like longer threshold intervals, like 2K intervals or 1K intervals, or like what I like to do is like progressions or tempos.
yeah,
So I'll go on a run and then get slowly faster each kilometer,
mhm,
or I'll be like, okay, we'll do 20K and then the last 5K is hard, you know?
yeah,
So a lot of my miles, I'd say 80 to 90% are easy. And then the last 10, 5% are like thresholdy interval just to
mhm,
keep fitness, you know,
yeah,
because with the backyard, people just think you want to slog out all these easy miles,
yeah,
but you want actually paces to feel easier. And the way you make paces feel easier is by getting fitter. You know, a
yeah,
6 minute pace for someone who's unfit is going to feel hard. For someone who's
yeah,
really fit, it's going to be like nothing. Like Elo
yeah,
last year
yeah,
LSU, Elo was mashing out 42-minute loops like it was nothing because he's super
yeah.
fit.
This was unreal. Like I couldn't
Bro,
believe it. I saw it in the live stream and everyone was like, "How is this dude still
bro,
going like
he
42-minute loops?"
getting goosebumps even thinking about it. He was a psycho last year, man. It was
Yeah,
crazy because Kim was like struggling from early. He
yeah,
his body was cut. He done like a marathon, a hard marathon the week before. He was ill as
yeah,
well. So his
yeah,
body from like 20 hours was cooking.
yeah,
Whereas Elo, we were 60 hours in, and this guy's mashing out a 42-minute loop and looking
yeah,
fresh. And we're like,
yeah,
what the fuck, man? Who was this guy made of? Like, he's like titanium, like a robot.
yeah,
And then obviously we know how that ended. It just
yeah,
shows in the backyard you never know how someone's truly feeling,
yeah,
um, or what can happen.
yeah,
But it's just a main emphasis on fitness. Like Elo's super fit and super
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
Um, so them easier paces feel way easier for him.
yeah. How was it? Like, it was your first time crewing at the backyard, right?
Yeah. So I had like helped with other like ultra races before, but nothing like a backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole story is even funny because I met Kim on the day of the race.
I
It,
can't even imagine. It's like, isn't it like
bro,
crazy for you? You don't even know this person, then you're 67 hours, or was it like
yeah,
crewing
yeah,
him?
yeah. And I didn't know German, bro. Like I'm just
Yeah,
some English kid.
yeah,
And it was because I was friends with Alex,
yeah,
who crewed obviously Kim G1M, and then obviously helped crew us.
yeah,
But I knew Alex, and Kim needed a crew member, and Alex, like, luckily was like, "Oh, I know a guy," and that was me. And then me and Kim spoke. Me and Kim spoke, and we got on. And then Kim was like, "Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do it." And then I was actually meant to meet him on the Thursday, but because where he lives was far from Cologne, and there was loads of traffic, so he couldn't get down. So he was like, "Okay, we'll just meet in the morning." So yeah, 5 a.m. Friday
yeah,
morning. Um, yeah, he come down. We were chatting in the car in the van, and
yeah,
yeah, we just went to war really.
yeah,
And right, it's such a blur to be honest. I don't. I spoke about it a lot on like the rapid documentaries and stuff, but it was like a super nerve wracking thing
yeah,
because you go into this event that's done by his company, all eyes are on him, and he's brought
yeah,
in this random English guy, and everyone's like, "Who's this guy?" Like
yeah,
whatever. I don't know German. I don't know anyone there. Like it's super like intimidating.
yeah,
And everyone is like, "Oh, how are we gonna get Kim to go far?" Da, 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 da. I'm like, "Bro, I've
yeah.
just met this guy." uh, um, so yeah, that was my first backyard. Learned a lot. Learned a lot.
Nice.
That we carried on into obviously Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I just,
sorry.
I now I'll go, I just rewatched the documentary of the LSU last
Oh,
year,
cool. Yeah.
and it was like really surreal because those really dark moments occurred really early in the race for Kim already. Like,
Mm.
but I remember when I watched the live stream, you guys really tried to not show that he's not so good or he's in pain and something like that. And how was it for you to crew him? And I don't know, it was like already hour 15, 14, where he's already starting. How was
Yeah, so
that?
it was tough because, and again, I think I spoke about it in documentary. I don't know if they put it in. I can't really remember. But it was tough because at the same time he was like crying, I was also
Yeah,
trying to get to know this guy.
yeah,
Like I said, I just met him, so I'm trying to learn like what makes him tick. I'm also trying to learn like what he's feeling, how he is as a person, um, and just like how it takes to get to know someone. But we're also in fucking a mental battle that he's facing. We're in a race that has so much pressure, so much eyes on him. Um, so it was super difficult to navigate, in all honesty, because I felt like I was a bit out of my depth. I was like, this is my first backyard. I'm crewing a guy that has thousands of eyes on him in another
yeah,
country, in a language I don't know, and he's crying his eyes out in front of me, saying he can't do it, and I'm like, holy shit, what the hell is going on here?
yeah,
And I seriously underestimated the emotional like toll of what a backyard does to you. Like it's seriously draining because you're trying to look after this person, you're trying to cater to all their needs, whether that be nutrition, whether that be motivation, emotional, gear wise, because also the weather was messed up, so we were having to like dry gear.
yeah,
um, and Kim's like super picky. So like he would want specific socks or specific pants or specific foods or whatever. So and obviously he's in the torment of a race, so you're just trying to be his brain, you know.
yeah,
Um, so it was super difficult to navigate, and obviously because of the magnitude of the event, we didn't want, and obviously all the viewers, there was a lot of viewers. We didn't want all these eyes to think, oh, he's struggling already.
hmm,
But the reality was he was just struggling. Um, so for the first like 24 hours, it was really hard,
yeah,
and I was super tired, super drained. And then we got Alex because Alex obviously dropped really early. He had like some really bad stomach issues, which was unfortunate. And then I was speaking to Alex, and we were also only a team of two. And if anyone who's watching has ever crewed a backyard, or if you've done a backyard, you know that every extra person you have in a crew is like it's like a send from God. It's
yeah,
so much more helpful. And obviously Alex, he had already crewed Kim, so it was super helpful when he come on, and it relieved a lot of pressure. And then all three of us, me, Alex, and Chris, which was Kim's friend, we all worked quite well. And then things started to click a bit more, and we just sort of accepted, okay, this is going to be a suffer fest. And
yeah,
Kim was like, yeah, it's just gonna hurt real bad, and we're just gonna have to
Yeah.
ride it out. And
Yeah.
the kid's a dog, man. Like Kim's an
Yeah.
absolute animal. He just knows how to suffer and suffer real hard, man. He
Yeah.
just yeah, and he let the tears out. I think tears came again. I don't know, like hour 30 or 40 or something. But that, like you said, that start bit from like 14 to 20 hours was really hard. And
Yeah.
his knee was blowing up, and he was an emotional mess. And then we sort of corrected it, and it was good for a long time after that
Yeah.
until near the end.
Yeah. Nice. If you had like one advice for people who are crewing for the first time or something, you did it like twice now with the
Yeah,
G1M.
yeah.
What would that be like?
Oh, that's actually a good question. It's tough because there's so many things. Um, I would say, oh man,
You
that's
can also go with like top three or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's good. It's just because there's so much to really think about. Um, I would say, like, definitely try to make sure your athletes like enjoying it,
Mhm.
because especially both, you see the people that go far, the people who enjoy it. Kim loves to like hate it the whole time, and he's like super angry and like doing that serious face,
Yeah.
which obviously is both times there's been a lot of eyes on him, a lot of pressure. So the main emphasis I've tried to drill into him is like enjoy the pressure. Like this is a privilege, you know,
Yeah.
pressure is a privilege, and if you let it absorb you too much and soak it in, you just don't enjoy the event. Whereas if you can like almost harness the energy and be like, this is fun. I'm choosing to do this. This is, and if there is more eyes on you, if you are someone with a following or someone that people expect something of, like enjoy that. Like that's a privilege that people expect you to go far. That's a compliment. People think you're better than the other guy or this guy or whatever. People expect you to like go what far. You just can't let it like penetrate you too far, where then it causes you to freeze up and not enjoy the event, and then that's where you just end up tapping out because you're emotionally so fatigued before you even started running. You've had
Yeah.
all these things play out. So I would definitely say, as a crew member, make sure that your participant enjoys it. But especially
Yeah.
if it's a participant's first backyard or
Yeah.
second backyard, like enjoy the process, and
Yeah.
then also just be adaptable. Like understand that whatever plan you have is going to go out the window eventually, and you have to be able to have a plan B, plan C, plan D, and
Hmm.
be able to swap it in and like just move parts around. Like don't be so rigid with your plan,
Yeah.
and yeah, just be adaptable and be malleable with it.
Yeah. It's so interesting for me actually because I'm running my first backyard next month on August
Oh,
8th. Yeah,
and
actually, what?
when? What date?
August 8th.
Oh, cool. What one's that?
Yeah. It's the first Hanover backyard.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Sick.
yeah, exactly. I'm running it with two friends. And like I got my friends crewing and all the stuff, and I'm actually preparing like most of it this year. I don't know.
Yeah, sick.
I was injured for like 2 months and but now I'm really back into the training. Got some big weeks in, and it's just exciting to hear from someone who was like already
Been
deep
in it.
into backyards and
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
knows.
honestly, like I would just tell your crew, like, and for you as well, just enjoy it, bro. It's your first one,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Just
it's my first
fucking
one.
enjoy it. Like, the problem is with social medias, you're seeing these guys run 50, 60, 70. Look, like I'm even going into LSU with Henrik Burry and Steve Harvey, Harvey Lewis that have done like
Harvey
100.
Lewis, yeah,
I'm like, what the hell, man? And you just have to be like, bro, this is a privilege. I get to run with these guys.
yeah,
And if I can hang on for as long as I can, then let's fucking do that. But it's more
yeah,
just like finding that place within me. It's not about anyone else. Like you can't go into it thinking I want to win. Like
yeah,
in other races you can, but backyards is like it's like a total contradiction. You can't go
yeah,
in with that race mentality. It's just like you versus you, and it's
yeah,
like can I make each loop? So when it
yeah,
will get hard, and it will eventually get hard for yourself,
yeah,
whether that's 10 hours in, 15 hours in, 20 hours, however long you go, it's going to get hard. And you just have to think, can I make the next hour? Can I
yeah,
make the next hour? Because even Kim, like he was thinking that from early. And even actually interesting, Mark Dowdall, who won G1M, after the
yeah.
race, he was talking to Alex and I was like listening, I was in the group. And he was saying from hour
I was
16,
16. Mark,
he,
Mark
yeah,
said that.
He was thinking like, fuck, do I really want to keep going?
Yeah,
And it just like, it highlighted to me like, we're all human. Everyone at that start line is
Yeah.
feeling the exact same thing, whether they look fresh or not. Everyone is feeling those doubts, those fears, that anticipation, that anxiety of like, oh fuck, he looks good. Oh fuck, my legs are tired. Oh,
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
feeling that same thing. So when you're looking at guys and you're like, they look like they can go another 10 loops. I can barely make it around this loop. Like, just focus on yourself,
Yeah.
and make sure your crew like stick that into you. Don't let your mind start to think about the next 5 loops or the next 10 loops or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's a good metaphor for life, right? Like, don't
Yeah.
think too far ahead. Don't like look right and left. Just focus on your own lane, yourself, and can you put one foot forward in front of the other for the next hour?
Yeah. So really that loop by loop mindset and
Yeah, bro, it's
going with it.
honestly the key, and also like smiling, enjoying it, like
Yeah.
as much as you can. Like, obviously, you're gonna hurt, and
Yeah.
if your legs are hurting from like loop 5 or 6, like don't think that's not what everyone else is feeling. Everyone else, like at that point, I think at loop 6, you've done a marathon, right? So, bro, anyone who's ran 40 kilometers, their legs
Yeah.
are not feeling
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah.
you just have to sort of get used to the discomfort of it and be like, this is the game. This is life
Yeah.
for the next however long.
Yeah. I mean, I did a few ultras already,
Oh,
and
yeah.
my experience with it is always like from like kilometer 30 or something, you get that pain, and
Yeah.
to the moment until you accept it, it's gonna hurt bad. But if you're like, man, it's just how this, and you go with it, then eventually you feel better. You can smile again. You
Exactly,
can
bro.
have fun.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
chat with people and have fun.
You feel it like no matter what it is, and you like you said, you literally just have to accept it, and then it's just like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. My legs are gonna
Yeah.
be sore for however long, and then it just numbs out, and then it just doesn't get any worse. It just
Yeah.
stays,
Yeah.
and you just have to be like, yeah, this is the game. This is what I
Yeah.
signed up for,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
So have do you? But are you going in the LSU this year with personal goals, or I don't think you do. You go with like, I want to run this far, or I want to run this loop amount, or
yeah. So like, obviously, I've done ultras and stuff myself, and I don't really have a goal, to be honest, because I understand that the backyard format like doesn't care what you've done before. You know,
yeah.
there's people, for example, perfect example, like Elo going into LSU. Apparently, the furthest he'd run was like 100K, but then he done 67 loops. Whereas you
Yeah.
look at someone like Pavel, who's ran 700-kilometer ultras, 500-kilometer ultras, but
Yeah.
then he does 36 loops or
Yeah.
37, whatever it was, and it's like this backyard format is so like it doesn't give a shit about your experience in ultras because it's such a different format. It's like the
Yeah.
relentlessness of every hour you have to go. Because in other ultras, you can rest for 20 minutes if you have to. You can, in the big ultras, you can sleep for a few hours if you need it. So in a backyard, it's like every hour you have to be there. So
Yeah.
it's a completely different like ball game sport even in a way. So I'm not going in with too much like, especially because it's my first one. Yes, I've crewed too, so I have a lot of like experience on or
Yeah.
better experience on how to go further in terms of like systems and like sleep, nutrition, how crew need to be, how I need to be, like all these little things. But in terms of how my body's going to react to that, I
Yeah.
I'm all I can do is and prepare to give my best.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't got a loop determined that I want to go to because I feel like if in my head say I get to that loop and then my brain like wants to tap out because oh we got far enough,
Yeah.
I'm
The
just
body
going in.
shuts off, and then yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm just going in and I'm willing to absolutely destroy myself. Um,
Nice.
yeah, that's just the
Yeah.
goal. I'm going. Just go
Yeah.
in and make sure you don't leave with nothing. Like make sure when you leave you
Yeah.
have nothing left. And
Yeah.
yeah, man,
And
like I've said it to a few people. It sounds a bit extreme, but I feel like a caged monkey right now because like I've done so much training
yeah.
and I'm just
Yeah.
like itching to get in there and run, you
Yeah.
know. And my body feels the best it's ever felt. So honestly, I have no idea how far I'm gonna go, but I
Okay.
know I'm gonna come out feeling destroyed.
I'm really excited to see how far you're going. So
Yeah, same. I'm excited to see at what point do I start to break, you know, because
yeah.
it's for me like there's it's I had one race in Scotland last year that was like a 400 kilometer stage race through Scotland, like the mountains, and I didn't really get to train much for that because like I was injured for 2 months. So it was in March, or no, May. I was injured for like January, February, and some of March, and then I had a bit of a build, but it wasn't much. It was like a month and a bit for a massive race, and that I like suffered so bad, like the worst I'd ever suffered. I was like, "Fuck this." So I know like I can like really dig myself out of a hole if I have to. Um, but I want to. The goal with this backyard is to just go to a place that I've never gone, uh, and hopefully that's far.
The perfect thing is like at the LSU, you know you can go as far as you want because you got people like Harvey Lewis, Eric Bowie there, and
Exactly. I know I'm not gonna like win at like 30 loops or whatever,
yeah,
and then I don't get to find out how far I can truly go.
yeah,
Yeah, I got some demons coming in, man.
yeah,
There's some scary guys coming in, but
yeah,
like as I said, you can either look at them as like, oh no, they're there, da, 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 da. But when you're not going in with this like artificial goal of like, oh, I need to win, because I would usually have that mindset because I believe in my abilities and how far I can go. But it's like the backyard format just doesn't reward that. Like I really feel like the only way not the only way, but a way that I can more resonate with in going far here is just using it as a way to explore. Is like how far and how deep can you dig yourself,
yeah,
and everyone else is just a vehicle to help you go further. Because if
yeah,
I'm seeing Harvey Lewis and Henrik Vary like laughing and shit at loop whatever, and I'm like in a pain cave, I'm like, you know what, bro? If these guys can do it and they're laughing, why am I not laughing?
yeah,
And they're like they're the best guys in the sport. Like how often in a sport do you get to line up with the best guys in your first race?
yeah,
You don't.
exactly.
You know, I'm not gonna go into a marathon with Kipchoge. You know, I'm gonna get smoked.
Yeah,
So like, it's just a privilege to be able to line up with them guys.
yeah, nice. Okay, do you have your crew together already? I saw on Instagram that Ben Pages is crewing you, right?
Yeah, he's one of them. Yeah, so I have Alex because Alex was meant to compete, but he had like he like fractured a bit in his knee, or something like that, and then he could only get running, I think, towards like the end of July, which just doesn't make sense to recover and then go into a backyard and then mess yourself up more. So he said
Yeah.
he would crew me, and then I have Ben as well, and I have a guy called Devin. He ran the Westerwald backyard in Germany.
Ah, yeah,
He
I
won it.
know. Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, it was like 34 loops or something. He won it, and he's actually running in Beanwald.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
I know that
Beanwald?
one too as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's next week. He's running there, and he's done like all sorts of ultras and stuff. Yeah, I connected with him on Instagram, and we spoke, and like he seems like a really genuine guy, and also has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And like I think experience within your crew is key if you want to go far,
Yeah.
because they're better at reading, especially people that have been in them pain caves or them situations, because they have a better understanding of what the athlete wants and what they're going through. So him, and then there's another guy I have. He's called Dimitri. I actually, funny story. When I did High Rocks in London, I was wearing a Rapid cap, and he was German, and then he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Rapid," and then I turned around. He's like, "Oh, that's Kim's boy." Um, yeah. And then we just clicked, and we were chatting. He was with another guy called Roman. They were doing like a doubles. But yeah, I was just chatting to him because we were watching, the Elite 15,
Yeah.
their best guys in Hyrux. We were watching them, and then we were just chatting, and he was super good energy, like super
Yeah.
positive, just super good to be around. Someone is just like you click off that energy, you know. And then we would chop it up on Instagram DMs, and then I was like, you know what? He hasn't got much experience in the backyard space, but he's a super good guy. He's from Germany, and he knows how to get people fired up. So I was like,
Yeah.
I want him in the tent,
Yeah.
when shit goes dark. So I was like, yeah, 100% join, because at LSU you get three guys in the tent and you have a fourth to substitute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would ideally like two to sub, but rules are rules, game's the game. So yeah, we just have three in the tent at all times, and then we'll just swap uh, between there when people want to sleep or rest or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I feel like I have a really good mix of crew, but
Yeah, it
obviously we
sounds
don't know.
great, man.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So you mentioned High Rocks already. Like,
Yeah,
I saw on your YouTube channel the series, Road
yeah,
to World
World
Championship.
Championships. Yeah, so that was the original goal, and then I done Belgium in March, Belgian pro, and I got a 103. That was my second pro.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, fuck. I like it. I knew that 103 isn't good enough to get a world championship spot, and then I also knew that LSU was coming up. So I was like, okay, I'm in a bit of a predicament here. Do I keep trying to push for this and get the sub 60 and try podium, or do I just go full LSU? And I was like, I would probably be sacrificing what I'm capable of at LSU to go for this and potentially still not get a championship spot because the standard in High Rocks now is like crazy. Like I can
Yeah.
go sub 60 and probably still not even get like top 10 in a certain race. So I was like, that can wait. Let's push the distance now. Let's push the LSU prep because I don't like to like try balance both. I think you end up just doing them disservices. Like if
Yeah.
I'm trying to prep, I've done it before where I'm trying to prep for a high rocks and an ultra, and you end up like one gets sacrificed more, you know, and you don't really get to perform to one to the level that you need it to be. Uh, so yeah, I sort of had to just push the high rocks training aside, just because the high rock stuff doesn't go as well with the higher mileage because you're so like fatigued
Yeah.
and then you can't hit these harder workouts as hard as you need to
Yeah.
really get that adaptation. So I sort of just had to drop that. I was like, okay, we'll save that for next year.
Yeah.
And I'm still keeping bits of high rock strength work in. But as I said, like I've been like maniacally focused on like the going far. So building
Yeah.
like the foundation, making sure the body's bulletproof, making sure we're going the distance in training, we're getting the mileage we need to. Um, and yeah, just all the boring shit like
Yeah.
stretching, like strengthening your hip flexors, your glutes, your abductors, your adductors, your calves, like all that shit that's like nobody wants to
Yeah.
do, but it's
Yeah. I
what
know.
allows you to go far, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I, I tried high rocks and stuff like that a bit
Oh,
for
cool.
myself when I was
Yeah,
injured,
yeah,
and I really saw like the suffering side that I always I kind of laughed at it before. To be
yeah,
honest, I was like,
yeah,
I don't think that's something for me. And
yeah.
I saw the people in the gym who were like doing the group workouts and stuff, and then I was injured at my hip actually, and then I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't even ride the bike, and I was like, okay, but I can row, I can ski a little,
Ski,
and
yeah.
then I really went for it, and I was like, okay, you can do this and see things, man. I
Yeah, it hurts, man. The ski machine is violent.
yeah,
It's a beautiful tool though. Like I haven't been using the ski and row as much. Like I said, the main thing's been time on feet.
yeah,
But a lot of my aerobic work and easy base work was on the ski, row, and bike. And
yeah,
like the ski, I've spent countless hours on that stupid
yeah,
machine, man. But when you're doing like intervals on the ski, like bro, that hurts.
yeah,
It hurts. You should try. I remember I did a 10K time trial on the ski. Uh, and oh man, I think my pace was like 150 per 500. Yeah, for like
okay,
10K.
this
And
is
bro,
crazy, man. I know.
yeah, bro, it hurt so
Yeah,
bad. Um, but like it's such a good tool to build fitness because there's the same with the bike. There's no like impact.
yeah,
So like you can do like if you wanted, you could do 4 hours on the ski or the row or the bike
yeah,
and feel relatively okay. Like you're not gonna feel smoked, you're not gonna feel too fatigued. Whereas if you go run 4 hours, no matter who you are, you're gonna feel a bit tired. Your
yeah,
body's gonna feel a bit smoked. So they're using those modalities for like fitness work and topping up fitness is so like and building volume as well,
yeah.
just getting like your heart rate and your aerobic system in that zone
Yeah.
without too much of the
Mechanical
poundage.
damage. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Mechanical damage. Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I mean,
Mm.
at the end of my injury, I will also a friend of mine loaned me his bike, so I could
Oh yeah,
ride here, and it was like in my room, and my flat is like really small, and it was
yeah,
like my bed is right behind me, the bike, and then my
yeah.
desk, and it was like I would wake up at like 5 a.m. and I know, okay, it's now 1.5 hours at this fucking bike, and then
Oh
eh,
man, it's the worst.
and then
Were you
coming
using
home.
Zwift?
Yeah, yeah, Swift,
Yeah,
exactly.
Zwift. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah, Zwift seems a lot easier because it's like it almost gamifies it, right?
yeah,
It's like you can race people.
yeah, you can like race people, and you have like um your heart rate and everything. You can see it, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you can really easy build like interval sessions or everything you want.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's nice.
yeah.
But I, to be honest, I just started the workout on my laptop and then just watched on the TV something, or had to study
Yeah,
for uni or some stuff. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for sure, for I think exactly, especially for people who are like, they have to, they really want to do something but can't really find fun in it.
Mm.
It's a really good thing, because they are also like group workouts. You can go into like Skype groups, and
Yeah,
then you all go in the same route and you just chat and do easy
yeah. It
ride
makes
together
it
or something
super
like that.
easy. Like you can
Yeah,
clock off 2 hours if you're chatting to people super easy.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, the bike. To be fair, because I just do it on. You know the C2 bikes, the Concept 2 bikes.
No, no, I don't.
Oh, they're like they use the usual gym bikes. They're like you know, like the row and stuff. The Concept 2. They're like
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
brand of the machine. They do
yeah.
also bikes.
Okay.
And it literally just shows like your distance and pace. It's on like a little monitor screen.
Yeah.
So like it's super boring because I have, like you said, like you do, I have to put on something like a YouTube or a
Yeah.
video or a movie or whatever. But there's been loads of times where I've just sat there like for 2 hours, hour and a half, just no music, just
Yeah.
like staring at. I just use it as like mental training because it's like if I
Yeah.
can do this, then I can run in a loop for fucking 100
Yeah.
hours. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Okay. Um Also another question with, I was really intrigued by, you, I always see in your stories or in your
Mm,
videos you say, um it's a privilege to feel this pain.
mm.
It's privilege to suffer like this, to you could it is, that you can do this stuff and all, like destroy your body like that. Is this coming from your like, I know I saw it somewhere that you had two, you torn your ACL 2 times
Yeah,
playing
both legs.
soccer. Yeah, both legs. Is it like the root of all that, that you like happy that you can move and do all this?
Yeah, that's it's a good question, really. Yeah, so I've torn both. I've had surgery on both. Tore one at 16, one at 19. And then after the second one, I come back play football and was like, I just don't love football the same way anymore. I just can't be asked for it. But yeah, I've torn both, and both were like, I don't know if you've had any major injuries like that, but the rehab for it to get back after surgery is like, especially when you want to go back to playing the sport. Like if you don't really care to go back and play the sport, then there's obviously not as much pressure. But when you do want to go back and play the sport, you want to rehab properly. You want to come back the same athlete. You don't want to come back a shell of who you were or half of what you were.
Yeah,
So there was like this focus on trying to come be the best you can be like just so crazy about every strengthening your legs again, getting back to exactly how you were. Luckily, I had a really good physio, um, but that like being in bed for like 2 weeks and not being able to move, and then also having that fear of not coming back the way you want to be, you sort of have to romanticize the work it takes and um the suffering, even though it's
yeah,
voluntary suffering. Like real
yeah,
suffering, it's like death or not having enough finances or food or whatever, like not having food. Like this is voluntary suffering. This is all things we get to choose to do, you
yeah,
know. And going back to the knees, even with the knees, like I get to choose to come back to this. I get to choose to work hard, and then going into the endurance and the training and stuff. It's like if you just see suffering as like this painful thing and this thing that is you just hate, then what the fuck? Like, how ungrateful are you? Because there's people out there that don't get to move, that can't see, that can't hear, they can't choose to go out and go for a run because they have to do other things if they live in like a third world country. All of this stuff. Obviously, these are quite dramatic examples, but these are the examples that I go to
yeah,
in my head when things feel hard. You know, in a
yeah,
workout or whatever, because like I've always just had the mindset of like this is a privilege, no matter how hard you think it is in the moment. This ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, is a massive privilege that you get to do this, that I get to do this, because not everyone gets to do this, you
yeah,
know. Um, and yeah, that's ultimately where it stems from. I think part of it is the injuries and stuff, but more of it is just from just the it allows me to cope when things get hard. You know,
yeah,
like my sort of cope. Everyone has different cope. Like you probably have something else,
yeah,
but my coping mechanism is this is a privilege. You shouldn't hate what you're feeling right now. Enjoy it, and
yeah,
that also makes it easier.
yeah. I just found it really interesting because I could really resonate with this, because
Yeah,
I got,
nice.
for example, like family members who like, got a medical condition or something, and I
Mm,
like know they would love to move more and do more
mm,
stuff, and for example like that, and like, what are you bitching around now for this like 5 more kilometers today. Like, come on,
Exactly,
just
bro.
get your ass up. And
Exactly.
yeah,
That's it's so refreshing. Like to hear you say that because it's obviously like this whole like suffering thing is romanticized and
yeah,
everyone talks about like oh yeah suffer well and
yeah,
all that stuff. But like the reality is it's just not suffering. Like
yeah,
it's not really suffering. Like
yeah,
obviously if you're fucking 100k into a 100-mile race or you're 20 loops in 30 loops into a race, yes you're suffering, you're
yeah,
hurting, but
yeah,
realistically you could just tap out whenever you want.
yeah,
There's people that have no legs that can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm putting my legs back on, or that can't see and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to unblind myself. It's like that's actual suffering. Or people
yeah,
that can't afford to feed their kids, like that's actual suffering. So
yeah,
I think constantly remind yourself of that, like this is a privilege, this is a privilege, this is a privilege. It helps, and that's going back to what I was saying earlier about Kim, when especially at G1M, where Kim was feeling all this pressure. It's like, bro, you're like 22, 23 years old, and you get to feel this privilege. You're in a space that people would kill to be in, you know, a
yeah,
position that people would kill to be in. So soak that in. Like when you're 30, 40, 50, you're going to look back and be like, why did I not take that in more than I did in the moment? When there's
yeah,
people that would literally do anything to be in that position. And I think that can be applied to all levels, no matter where you are success wise or fitness wise, whatever. Always remind yourself that no matter where you are on that spectrum, in whatever it is, whether it be a relationship, fitness, business, whatever, or money, whatever, that people would kill to be in your position. And that just allows you to have a bit more grace and a bit more of a relaxed essence in what you're doing and to stop stressing, stop
yeah,
suffering so much.
yeah. For example, one of my friends is always saying to me like,
Mm.
um, it's like he's always saying when I tell him like, "Well, it was a hard day" or something like, he always say like, by the way, it's free will what you're doing. You don't have to do this. Like no one is like
No
forcing
one's
you
forcing you.
to
Yeah.
do this shit. And but I really like this because um in the moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go again, or like this interval is very hard. Maybe I stop
Mm.
one earlier or something like that.
Mm.
Um, I was think, no, you choose to do this, and you have the opportunity to do this right now, and
Mm.
as long as you can run and you know you don't run into an injury or something dumb, like
Exactly.
no,
Yeah. Exactly. I was
you can
gonna
still
say. Yeah.
train. So like you always have to like stay in touch with your body and look like at those things, because I learned this year as well. You can run into injuries really fast, especially
Yeah.
with ultra running. Like you would know like
Yeah.
when you don't, because I really wasn't paying much attention to my like progression rate. I was
Yeah.
like,
Just 100k, 200k,
yeah,
300k.
no, yeah, I was like jumping too much. Like, uh,
Yeah.
I started this running thing last year. Like,
Yeah.
I'm running now for like 11 months, and
Mm.
then like jumping steps from like 100k week to a 140k week doesn't
Yeah.
work for a body. You
Yeah,
can do
bro.
this. Yeah,
Like this is what, with social media, you like it's so easy to compare, and you're like, oh well, he's doing 150k week, so I should be doing 150k week. But
yeah,
you're not seeing everything else that, like, if someone's ran from when they're 10 years old to when they're 25, the
yeah,
100k week or the 160k week is going to feel a lot easier for that person than it is someone who's running for a year or
yeah,
whatever, you know. Like you just you can't compare your journey to someone else's, and just because they're doing that doesn't mean they're going to go further than you. There's people that go far. Like I've raced with some guys in ultra races that are doing like 60 to 80k weeks, but then they get to race day and they're like whippets, like they can
yeah,
just run. And this, like I was saying at the start of the pod, and like you've probably learned with your injuries and whatever, like the main thing is getting to race day feeling good, feeling healthy. You don't want to get to race day and have all these niggles. The nervous system feels run down. You feel shit. Like you don't feel ready to go, even though you may have done 2 or 3 months of 100-mile weeks,
yeah,
with like speed work, good base work, a lot of strength stuff. Like if you smoked your CNS that much, race day is just going to be hell.
yeah,
Especially like if when you're not a full-time athlete and you're working and you have all these family commitments and all these other things, your your mind and body is being pulled in so many directions, yet you're still trying to push the same training volume that a professional athlete would be doing
yeah,
when all their job is to do is just train,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Like it makes no sense because it, like as humans we just want to do more, more, more,
yeah,
but that can sometimes, you know, be
yeah.
our downfall.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, it really shown to me. Like, for example, when I'm like in the semester
Mm,
at uni, I know like I can go off really hard and also a lot of miles and stuff because I know I have time to recover because you don't have to prepare for exams and have to like
mm,
study 8 hours a day or something like that. So I
yeah.
have more time, um, and I really feel that like now I'm done, but I was in the exam preparation,
Mm,
and after like 6 hours of studying, I was cooked. I
yeah.
I couldn't think nothing like. And then going out for an easy run, it's like refreshing and stuff.
Mm,
So, but when I think about doing intervals or hard stuff like that, then I was like, man, I just couldn't. So
yeah.
I fueled for a fucking 10K easy run with, I don't know, I ate so much
Yeah.
because I felt like, bro, I'm just gonna fall asleep otherwise. So
Yeah, bro, and you gotta like the difference is there is like listening to your body, and then if you do have intervals, it's being like, okay, maybe do an easy run
yeah,
instead of the intervals, and then cooking yourself even further because fatigue, your body just holds onto that fatigue, and like you want to build up a certain amount of fatigue because that's what allows you to adapt, but it's like such a thin line between a good amount of training
yeah,
and then overtraining and then
yeah,
becoming cooked because you've done whether it be work or studying or whatever, and then you go hit hard intervals or a hard run or whatever, and you just completely empty your body and you just can't recover.
yeah,
Um, Especially when you're trying to hit high mileage because
yeah.
it just eats your body.
Yeah, and I I don't know if you think it's the same. But like, I think also it's different for every person. For
Mm,
example, I got like two
mm.
friends, Flo and Elia, and they're both also at the backyard,
Oh,
and they
cool.
had like no injuries, problems, and stuff like that. And they hit a 275-kilometer peak week.
Damn.
It was insane, man.
Yeah.
I I just was I came out of my injury, and I also just built up my volume right there. But I like had a
Mm,
130K week, and it
yeah.
was like
Tough.
strenuous. It was tough, and
Mm,
um I just thought, man, it's more than double of
mm,
it, and it's like they're like really close friends of mine, and it's sometimes hard for me seeing them. Okay, we because in the first place we wanted to do that together, but I was like, I know I can't do that now because I will fuck up my body so bad that I'm
mm.
injured again, or I'm like just my nervous system is down for like 3 weeks, and it's
Bro,
just worse
smart.
for me.
It's smart decision not to follow it. Bro, ego can really fuck you. And if you're
Yeah,
like, if your friends are doing that and then they want you to do it, even though you know that's past your limit, and you go do it, and like you said, then you miss the next 3 weeks of training. Whereas you're better off getting your 100K, 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 and feeling good rather
yeah,
than get that 250K week and then you're smashed for 3 weeks. And also, you, like I was saying, your body holds on to that fatigue. You don't understand that systemic fatigue. It's like in your bones, bro. It's like in your
yeah,
body. Like your legs might feel okay.
yeah,
I read a book, The Norwegian Method Applied, and they talk about it. That's like all about threshold work and stuff. But it talks about that fatigue and like even though your legs feel okay, it's ingrained
yeah,
where your body's just cooked.
yeah,
And if you just can't recover from the training that you're doing, obviously when you have a big event, you are playing on that line of like overtraining and like productive training a little bit and like pushing and then pulling, pushing and pulling to like make sure you don't go too far. But uh the it's very easy to play into that game of like, oh well, I can just do more, more, more. He's doing more, so let me match that. And then you,
yeah,
like I said, you get to race day and you're just completely cooked. You want to get to race day and be raring to go, like ready to do mileage. If you're just
yeah,
hitting these fat miles that you can't recover from, and then you get to race day, your body will show you like everything has its like expiry point and has its point where it's like, okay, we're done, bro. And yeah, your friends might be able to do the 270K training week, but it's like a training week doesn't win you a race,
yeah. No,
you know?
it also like they're like really supporting. They were like, um they're really looking like for my health, and like also like for the good decision and stuff, and they're saying to
Mm,
me, you're doing the right thing. But it's
yeah.
like hard for me to see because you planned it together and stuff like that.
Mm,
It was the same thing. Like we had an ultra planned
yeah.
here in Germany. We got a little hill, it's called the Brocken,
Yeah.
and we're doing like a thing where we like from each home we're
Mm,
running onto that brocken,
mm,
and it was like we were all at my home, and like I woke up and was like I was just shivering and cold, and everything
mm,
was like I was fucking done, and it was like a 70K ultra, 2,000 meters of elevation. I
nasty.
just know, um, if I do this now, I could do this, but I would like be ill or injured for like weeks or months
Yeah,
after it.
yeah.
And so I decided to not do it. And then I went back a few months later and did it on my own.
Mm,
And it was like for me, then doing this on my own was important to me because I had to complete it. You know, I had to
yeah.
hit this thing, but I did it, and was like, thank God you didn't do it back then, because
Yeah.
like man, this was tough. Like the elevation at the end, and you just get cooked by this fucking hill, and you get lost like in a field. I was like, I don't know. I was turning around. I didn't know where I was. My clock
Yeah.
wasn't really working, and you were like, if you're in this position and you're cold and having like symptoms, then you're just
Dangerous
dead.
place to be, man.
Yeah,
Dangerous place to be. It's like you sound like you're really what's the word, intuitive with your body and knowing when to push and when to pull. Which
yeah,
like over the long game, bro, that is gonna give you more dividends than you realize.
yeah.
And knowing your body, knowing when you're okay to go. There's a good saying. You know Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the
No,
Norwegian. He's like a Norwegian middle distance runner. He's like one of the best in the world of like
yeah,
1500 to 5K.
yeah,
And like obviously you know about Norwegians and endurance. They're so
yeah,
good. Like they're
yeah,
so good. And he was like the reason why they're so good is they don't pull the carrot until it's time for racing. So
yeah,
the term means like obviously like a plant, a carrot, you water it, you feed it, you let sun hit it, whatever. The problem is with the when people are constantly hitting these big training weeks, they're constantly trying to prove to themselves what they're capable of. So they're suffering so much in training. They're doing that big ultra, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing these big volume weeks that aren't necessarily productive, and it's like basically pulling the carrot out to constantly see what can I do, what can I do, what can I do,
yeah,
how much can I suffer, how far can I go, how hard can I go. And the problem is if the carrot's always being pulled out, it's never growing. Whereas if
yeah,
you just let it grow and build consistent weeks that you can recover from, that you can get better from, that you can like adapt from, then when race day comes, you pull this fucking carrot out and it's huge. You can
yeah,
really go far. You can go hard. You can suffer well. You can do all this stuff. And all the people that were constantly pulling out and training, they get to race day, and they can't really go that far because
yeah,
they haven't allowed their system to recover and grow the way it should and perform the way it should. Um, and like I said, that is a skill that you get better with time. Like these Norwegian guys are taught that from like 5 years old, so they
yeah,
know the and their volume is king for them, and they just build consistent volume. They don't never do like crazy workouts or crazy training weeks. They just stack days and
yeah,
weeks and months and years and do that for 20 years, and you have a world champion, you
yeah,
know? So most of us just don't have that patience because one, we're not in this endurance game from like 5 years old.
yeah,
Um, and two, we're all in this like rush to get followers or get money or get notoriety or get validation to be like, oh, you done this, you done that. So we're constantly trying to almost like skip the necessary consistent work. You know, we're trying to like even like I've done it before, like going out and just running an ultra on no training or whatever. Like we're constantly trying to skip the necessary bits that it takes because we want to see how big our fucking carrot is without letting it grow. And I just think it can be applied to obviously the endurance world in terms of like 1500 meters and stuff, but it can also be applied to the ultra running world. And the more like experienced ultra runners I meet and that you'll probably meet and you like talk to, you'll realize like they just master consistency, and it's just like being good every week. You don't need to be great, just be good every week. Be good, be good, be good, and eventually like that adds up. You don't get injured, you actually still love the game. You're approaching it from a positive mindset rather than like fuck, I gotta go and run 20K today or 30K. And I've been there. Like you still sometimes do like again when you're prepping for a big event, you are balancing that line of like overtraining and productive training. So there are days where you're like, oh fuck this, I don't want to go run 30K. But I think it's important like for the longevity of where you want to take this, that you approach it from an angle that you can maintain and do it for years. And that's really where your people like Harvey Lewis's and your Henrik Bowery's and all these other guys where they really can like outlast, you know?
I really go with the rule of thirds there. I don't know if you heard of it. It's like
Nah.
you if you do train for something really hard, no matter what
Mm,
sport,
mm,
1/3 of the training you should feel good, one
mm.
third you should feel okay, and
Yeah.
1/3 it's okay to feel crappy or like not so good.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
And like balancing this, if you feel like, okay, I'm feeling like good all the time, you maybe have to go a little bit harder. But if you feel like shit all the time, you have to pull
Peel
a
it
bit
back.
back. And
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. I've never heard of someone putting it that way, but that's yeah, perfect way
yeah,
to put it.
okay. So I don't want to take too much of your time off. We're already like 50
Nah,
minutes
yeah,
in.
I'm enjoying it, bro.
Yeah, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
if you have a little bit more time, I still have some questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Because I love your saying in the Insta stories. You always have the insanity wins.
Yeah,
Like,
that's been a staple
yeah,
to my name for a while.
yeah. I really love that. Where's that coming from? Is it like your saying, or is it?
Yeah, so because I don't even know where it really come from, but yeah, I just started playing into that whole like just I don't know because I've always been like obsessed with people that are like insane in whatever it is, whether it be
Yeah,
art or sports or writing or business, whatever it is, people that are just maniacal about what they do. Like they're just obsessive, and to the outside world, they're fucking crazy. But to the people that get them and to themselves, they're like, this just makes sense, you know?
yeah,
And obviously, you can look at like the actual definition of insanity. It's like a mental hospital thing. Like we're
yeah,
not going to look at it from that. I'm looking at it from the perspective of doing things outside of the norm. And that is just the outside of the norm. Isn't everyone has to go run 500K? It's just whatever's out of the norm for you, you know, as a
yeah,
person, and just pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, doing something that you would look at and be like, oh crap, that's insane, you know.
yeah,
I'm just saying, if you can do that for long enough and you can imply that mentality for long enough, you will win. So if we
yeah,
shorten that down, it's just insanity wins. Stay
yeah,
insane. You
yeah,
know, why would we want to live a life where we're not insane, where we're not crazy, where we're not delusional, where we're not dreaming
yeah,
big and executing big and trying to be more? You know, I think
yeah,
life is so boring if you just settle. And I
yeah,
think part of that insanity mindset is not settling and pushing your limits, pushing that threshold
yeah,
safely, obviously, but
yeah,
sometimes also not safely. Like I think as much as we talk about safe training and stuff, like I'm a bit of a hypocrite because there's been times where I've just gone and done some dumb shit because I'm like, I
yeah,
think I can do it, so I'm gonna go do it. But obviously, you learn with time. You need to or be safe, like we said, for the longevity stuff. But I think there's a time and place to just go truly insane,
yeah,
and truly just let it run and just find out what you're capable of.
yeah,
And that's how you win. All the best
yeah.
guys are insane. All the
Yeah, I
best
love
guys.
that. I love that because like if you, I always think in my head, if I go to like a year back from now, and like I would
Yeah,
tell that self, like, bro, like you ran 100K, you can run this ultra, you just can do all this stuff. Like, or for example, I I started running because I started to do some boxing, and like I needed
yeah,
a little bit more of endurance for that. And then I just
yeah,
stuck with it, and it was like really fun. um but like,
yeah,
if someone told me you are going to run 100K, I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I couldn't do that. For me, it's like I wouldn't even think anyone could do it, because I didn't know about the ultra bubble and like what is going on out there.
yeah,
But then I really dove
yeah,
into it, and like now I I I, I often really catch me that I think like, man, that's nothing special anymore, because you're like, you see all that stuff on social media, as you said, of people doing like 100K like this, 100 miles like this, 200 miles. I
yeah.
don't know. You see all these big races and like records broken every weekend, and you just think, man, mine is not that crazy. But like for everyone out there, I think it's really important to look like at your own progression. Like, where were you 1 year ago? Where were you 5 years ago? Like, and just to see that what this um, continuous work can do for you.
Bro, 100%. Like, I think. trying to compare yourself with social media in any regard, whether it be mileage, money, status, like relationships, whatever, it's just a never-ending game. Like it's a zero-sum game. You're never gonna improve your life doing that.
Yeah.
Especially in the ultra world, because there is always some crazy psycho that is doing another 100-mile race or 200-mile race or
Yeah.
flipping 100 loops in the backyard. Like even if you look at Harvey Lewis, his like back-to-back races that he's doing is crazy. He done like go on more, then he was it the mid-state mile. Did he do
Yeah.
something in between that? I feel like maybe not. Then the mid-state mile, and then he did like 250 miles for
Yeah. I
250
saw that.
Independence Day, and now he's doing Badwater, and then he's gonna do obviously LSU,
LSU. Yeah.
and it's just like if you compare yourself to that, you're only gonna end up being like, well, I'm a piece of shit and I'm not worthy of anything, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, that's just like, the game doesn't work like that. You have to look at yourself, like you said, look back from a year ago, and to tell yourself, oh, you did 100K or you did this or you did that, you'd be like,
Yeah.
you're crazy.
And I mean,
And
these are professionals. They're probably doing it for over a decade or something like that.
exactly,
Comparing
bro.
yourself to them is like it's crazy. But
Well, you would never compare yourself to a person who builds rockets, who spent the last 20 years learning to
yeah,
build rockets. So why are you
yeah,
going to do it to someone who spent the last 20 years building that level of capacity and endurance
yeah,
and just ability to go further? You know,
yeah,
it's stupid, but as humans, we just do it. But it's if you
yeah,
can rewire that, I think there's a serious power in that, and it allows you to approach the sport from a much different angle.
yeah,
Because if you're just pushing mileage and pushing training because you're trying to keep up, that's almost
yeah,
like a desperate mindset. Whereas if you're coming at it from like an abundance mindset, like I'm grateful to do this, I get to do this because a year ago I didn't do this.
yeah,
You know, I feel like mentally it allows you to enjoy the process a lot more, which I think personally helps you in races, helps you in training, helps you
yeah,
just enjoy the process.
yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, generally in life, like because I think if it's important for everyone, not even for people who do sports, but like I think it's important for everyone to do a little bit of sport. But some people are just not into it, so they have something else to obsess with it, or like they're like to draw. I don't know everything. So,
Yeah.
but to go into these things and like try to make it hard for yourself,
Mm.
it helps you in life, I guess, because
Mm.
um I, for example, I myself, I had like some mental health issues and stuff like that, and then people, a friend of mine said like, yeah, let's go boxing, like it will help you with your self confidence, and then you
Mm.
go in there, and the first time you do a sparring,
You get fucked up.
you don't hit a single shot, and like you get like bam bam, and
Yeah.
and you just your head is ringing, and you go out there and think, bro, that was nothing for me. Like I will
Mm.
never come back. But if you then like go home and you decide to come again there and just go with it and like learn a little bit, and like the boxing training is hard. It's like really hard. There are some trainers who like really want to fuck you up there,
Yeah.
and but if you just go with it and go through training and like
You get better.
you get better, and you earn the self-respect because you are like, man, you did this, you can now do this, you can now go in your normal life, and you can do this exam, you can like you
Yeah,
can
bro.
make yourself healthy food and all this, like because I think it applies to everything in life. Like
Mm.
I think it's really important to do hard stuff genuinely so you can improve everywhere.
Bro, I honestly, you said it best I could say it, that you can't say any better. Like doing hard things is like it's made like cringe almost now because obviously the whole
Yeah.
Goggins effect and whatever. But it's like it's true. Like
Yeah.
do hard things and you get confident because you're building even Hormozy says it, like confidence is built through evidence of what you've done, or it's something along those lines. And it's like that's
Yeah.
so perfect. You don't just get confidence like that. You get
Yeah.
confidence because you do things. Because you
Yeah.
could say, yeah, I've pushed through hard times in 100K. I've pushed through hard things in mental health. I've pushed through in boxing training where I went and I kept showing up and I got better, and then I ended up beating the guy who used to fuck me up. You know, like
Yeah.
there's by continuously proving to yourself you can push through that barrier of pain or that barrier that's you think is your limit.
Yeah.
You then walk around like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. As long as I apply myself, I can do whatever the hell I want. And I
Yeah.
think like ultra running and running, that's why it's caught people like so hard. Um, because it is such an easy way to find that limit and then go
Yeah.
past it, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's what's beautiful about backyards is because you genuinely find the limit. You find
Yeah,
where you can't go any further. And yeah, perfectly just what you said, doing hard things will give you confidence. It's
yeah.
pretty that simple.
When was this like for you the first time that you were like in an ultra or something else sport wise where you were like, man, this is the wall. I can't go any further than this, and then you got up and went
Kept
further
going.
than this. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, obviously, like football's a bit of a what's the word? A ballerina sport. So it's difficult, but
yeah,
it's also not that difficult. And you're in a team, so you're
yeah.
always like relying on people. They're relying on you and whatever. Whereas the first time I probably got a real essence of it because I did like MMA, like
Mm-hmm.
kickboxing and jiu-jitsu for like three years. Um,
Yeah,
and like similar to you, the first time you go in, you haven't got a clue and you get
yeah.
fucked up and you're like, holy crap. Especially in grappling. I don't know if you've ever messed with like grappling, like jiu-jitsu wrestling.
I tried
But you,
it. Yeah,
yeah, you realize there's levels. Like I'm having
yeah,
guys half my height just wrap me
yeah,
up and strangle
yeah,
me, and I genuinely couldn't do a thing. Like he
yeah,
could do whatever he wanted to me, and I couldn't do a thing. And it's like, holy crap, this is some messed up stuff. Um, and even just sparring and whatever. But even that was a different level to ultra running because that is like you have to find a way out. You have to wriggle. You have to move. You have to punch back. You have to slip or whatever because it's another man trying to hurt you or
yeah,
woman. Um, but ultra running is different because it's like there's constantly a way out. There's constantly you
yeah,
can stop here. You know, in fighting you can't because you're just going to get beaten up. Whereas
yeah,
ultra running or racing, it's like you can stop. That is fine if you want to stop. You can stop, but you'll be ashamed of yourself. So it's like constantly trying to battle that voice. And I think the first time it got really loud, it's probably when I first did my first ever like marathon. To be honest, a few years ago, and I literally signed up for it the day before, and I was like seriously bulked up. Like I was in like I was like 100 and something kilos because I used to like hit the gym a lot. I
yeah,
still do, but like more like bodybuilding style, and I was a bit more
yeah,
fluffier.
yeah,
And my brother-in-law was doing a marathon. He's like, "Oh, just do it with me," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." And
yeah,
they literally, I got to the race day, and everyone's name was like printed, and my name was like scribbled at the bottom, and they were like, "Oh, you're the guy who signed up last night." And I was like, "Yeah, stupid decision." But even that, the first half marathon was like somewhat easy. It was, I think I'd done it in like 1 hour 40 or something, and I was like, I'm
okay,
chilling. This is fine.
yeah,
And then it got to mile 20, and oh my god, like my calves went, my hips went, everything. I was just like hating life. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why did I do this? And then I finished it, and I was like, bro, you can literally just do things.
yeah,
Like all you have to do is just persevere and keep going. And then obviously in different runs, there's been different levels of that. But naturally, the fitter you get and more prepared you go to races, you feel that less. Like then a couple
yeah,
months later, I did a 50K with like quite a bit of elevation, but I had actually trained for that because then I got the like bug after that. I was like, okay, now I want to properly train and see how far I can push this. And then I trained for that, and the 50K was way easier than that marathon because I lost a load of weight,
yeah,
um, and I was like training. I was building up mileage again, and it was a lot easier. But then I would say probably the next real suffering was that Scotland race last year. Like after day two, I was like, I'm done. And then I got past that, which was a big mental barrier. And again, it's like pushing past that threshold of what you thought you're done with, and you find another level to go above it, and you're like,
yeah,
shit, I can do this. And then anytime I struggled in that race again, it was like, well, I'm not as low as I was on that first day, and I got past that. So can I get past this? Yes, we keep going. Um, so I think like you get better at handling that feeling of like, oh fuck this, I'm completely done. The more you do, because you have all this evidence of the amount of times you've overcome it,
yeah.
and yeah, man, it's not a
It's,
pretty place to be, but it's fun.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I really love how you put it because this you can also use that in training a lot.
Mm,
These you had these hard moments like
mm,
you were in pain on for example in your Scotland ultra there on the
yeah,
first day like you were so like I'm done, I can't go any further, and then
yeah,
like you when you're in training you're like, well, this is like not so nice right now. You can
yeah,
just you can just go with the thought of it, bro. I did that, so I can do this now. So yeah,
Exactly. And the more you do, the more you just have this, like, it's like almost like a cabinet of files, and you can just be like, well, I've
yeah,
done this, I've done
yeah,
this, I've done that, I've done this.
yeah,
Even like, it doesn't even always mean the further you go, the harder it is. Because I remember I did a single open high rocks in Oslo, and the training for this had been so like sporadic, just because I was super busy like outside of life, and I was still like so new to high rocks, so I didn't really know how to train for it. And I went into this race, and after the like my stomach before the race was messed up. Like I was ready to pull out because I was just on the toilet the whole time. But I
yeah.
done it. I started it, and then after the burpees, bro, I swear I wanted to just shit myself for
Yeah,
the whole
okay,
thing.
yeah,
And in my head, constantly from the burpees to the wall balls, I was just thinking like, oh, I need to pull out. I need to pull out. I need to pull out. And you're just constantly fighting this demon, and actually, that demon was probably one of the loudest ones I've had in terms of telling me to quit. Because also in a high rocks race, it's so easy to quit. You just open the barriers and you're done. You know,
yeah,
whereas when you're in an ultra in the middle of a forest or whatever, it's not so easy to just quit. You have to find a
yeah,
way through somewhere. But yeah, I was like, for like half an hour, my brain is just like, you need to quit. You need to quit. You're gonna shit yourself. You're gonna shit yourself. But guess what? I didn't shit myself, and I got through it, and I
yeah,
finished the race. And it's
yeah,
like, again, it's just a small thing of looking back on, like, you were so uncomfortable, but you still found a way to get it done. And I
yeah,
just think it's so powerful. Like, even when that's why doing like hard voluntary things is so applicable to life, because when something in life, the difference is with life is you don't get to choose. So if you
yeah,
get an illness, or your parents get an illness, or your family member or whatever, that is just imposed upon you, and life just says, deal with that, bro. So
yeah,
I think when stuff like that does happen, you can apply yourself. You can, like, again, look back through these files and be like, well, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I got through all these hard times. So I just know that if I persevere and find a way to put one foot forward in front of the other, I will
yeah,
get through this. We will get through this.
yeah,
It's a perfect way to look at life, I think.
yeah. Yeah, that's great because I know there are so many young people out there
Mm,
struggling like in life or with their mental health or
mm,
with their self picture and everything, and like the way you put it with like you can just go and look at what you've done over those last years, what you did. I
yeah.
mean, they're like it can be a small thing, like
Mm. Bro, it
I
doesn't
don't
have
know.
to be a crazy ultra. Like,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one,
No, no.
it, that's
It's like,
yeah.
for example, like you you it's like a little thing for me back then. I thought I don't know why, but I thought I can't get my driver's license, and then it was like a 2.5 week process, and I had it, but I made it so big problem in my head, like out of it.
Yeah.
Um, but after it you can say like okay, but I did that, you did that, or after you finish school you think you when you're in your first exam preparation in uni, man, this is so hard, this is so tough, I can do this. But you can go back and see, okay, but in school I did the same, I did the work and just put it in. And even if you don't get it the first time, man, you can always go back and try again and try again and try again until you get
Exactly,
it.
bro. Like, it's just finding a way to put one foot forward in front of the other. And that,
Yeah,
if you fail, if you succeed, whatever, just find a way to keep showing up. That's it. Same with
yeah,
a race. Like, people will put like all this, especially on something like LSU, where it's like this big advertised, like it's rapid. It's
yeah,
a lot of people watching. It's like, oh, if I lose this, or whether it's G1M, that's the same. What was Kim was thinking at G1M. It's like, well, if I lose this, what happens? Da, 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 da.
yeah,
And it's like, you just keep showing up. There's always going to be another race. There's always going to
yeah,
be another way to keep moving forward. And
yeah,
that's the only thing you have control over. You don't have control over the results or what happens. All you can control is if you show up again. Are you going to
yeah,
show up? Are you going to be consistent? And that is, if you can just constantly remind yourself of that, no problem or no issue is ever too tough, because it's like, well, I'm going to show up anyway. I'm going to find a way, because I'm going to
yeah,
keep digging and find a way to make this better, or to improve, or to, whatever it is. It can be applied to anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you mentioned the second GOM again. Um,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a thing. I don't know if you can answer it because it's like I saw it in the documentary. Um, it was like I mean you recruit Kim, but you know Alex well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it was this whole thing before the race and something like that. That it was talk about. he may be never be running again after it, because he doesn't really he didn't know why he was doing all that. And um like after the race, he was sitting there again, and he said he got his questions answered. And I was really intrigued, like what were those questions, and like what were his answers he found in that race. I don't know, maybe it's a completely personal thing, and I will find out
Yeah,
myself if I do the race like that or something. But
yeah.
maybe you can say
Yes,
something to that.
I can give you a small insight. Obviously, he would be able to answer it best because he
Yeah,
knows what's like truly going
yeah,
on. But from an outside perspective and from speaking to him a little bit, so going into it, obviously he was signed as a rapid athlete, and like when that obviously you get signed as any sort of athlete by a brand or whatever, I don't know, you automatically burden this pressure of I need to perform, I need to do well, especially because it was all like he had that opportunity because of Rapid, and there was all this investment that have gone into it in terms of like even financial energy, like all this pressure that you accumulate onto yourself. You think I have to perform, I have to do what this, and then that leaked onto his training. And obviously, again, what we were talking about with the constant comparison of like mileage and what everyone else is doing, he found himself getting into that trap a little bit, I think. And then you lose the love or your why of why you're doing it. You're like, am I doing this
yeah,
because of a validation thing, or because I'm trying to keep up? Again, like I was saying, is are you doing it out of desperation to keep up, or are you doing it out of an abundance mindset because you want to do it, you want to find out more? And I think he got caught in that battle of why am I doing this, and also then he got injured, and then he couldn't run for a little bit. And obviously, if you're in that mindset of comparison and trying to keep up, and then you can't run, that's only going to send you down a spiral because you're like,
yeah,
everyone else is improving, they're getting ready for this race, that this huge race that could be life changing, whatever, and I can't even run. And I think it just forced him to look like his situation as a whole and just be like, is this what I want to do, in a way? And then I think he grappled, which he was open about, to be honest, about grappling with if he loves running still or whatever. Like you said, he doesn't know if
yeah,
he'll run again after. So I think that was a whole like grappling match for him that I think only he could do justice explaining. Um, but the main thing going into G1M is he wanted to go to a place that he hadn't gone before
yeah,
and see what he was really made of. And almost, I think it was more of he lost that. I don't think he was trying to validate to anyone else. I think he was more trying to validate to himself that he is who he says he is.
yeah,
And I think he got that because of how far he pushed himself in
yeah,
the G1M. You know, like he was all sorts of messed up. Like I saw it
yeah,
like firsthand.
yeah.
He was
There,
cooked.
there's this nice scene where you like kneeling in front of him, and you're like you're saying to him, "Man, you went there, you went places,
Yeah,
you did that."
exactly. He went
Yeah,
to places, bro. And we joke about it after because like in the moment he was so gone and he was completely fucked. And we can laugh about it now.
yeah,
But I was more just happy for him that he found that place,
yeah,
and that place was, I think, just his limit at that point with the
yeah,
training that he had and the circumstances he had. I think if his training went a bit better, he probably could have gone further, and he knows that. And I think that will eat at him, and that will, I personally think that will mean he will race again in this format
yeah,
eventually. But I think for now, he just wants to find himself a little bit again and what he actually loves doing and why, not what he feels forced to do, you know?
yeah,
And I get it. Like, you sign for a brand that's run by a guy who does backyards and you automatically feel like you have to do them and stuff. And I,
yeah,
like, in total honesty, I had the same sort of feeling because I really like the high rock stuff.
yeah,
Um, and the distance stuff is fun, but I also want to be fast. I also want to like be the best at something or be near the best at something. I don't just want to
yeah,
go farther and further and further until I just turn into dust. You know, like
yeah,
um but I also like that spiritual uh what's the word, like spiritual gains that everyone talks about in the backyard. Like I'm intrigued in that also.
yeah,
And also just seeing how far I can push my body.
yeah,
Um but yeah, in terms of Alex, like the reason why I say I'm intrigued is because I
yeah,
feel like me and Alex approach it from a similar angle in terms of more of an exploration point of view and like
yeah,
trying to explore whether it be our soul or our mind, just trying to find that dark place
yeah,
and how far can you dig deep to find the light on the other side.
yeah. Did you did some simulations already for like
Yeah, so
cycle simulations?
I haven't done any big simulations. The max I've done is like 8 hours.
Yeah,
Just because I'm super conscious of um, similar to what you spoke about, like people do like 24-hour simulations or
yeah,
whatever, and your body just holds on that fatigue. For
yeah,
me, I think 8 to 10 hours is a perfect amount because you can somewhat recover from it, like after a couple
yeah,
of days rest or whatever. And you also learn a lot in terms of what your body takes on with fuel and
yeah,
sleep and whatever. So I haven't gone mad with the simulations. In all honesty, I'll
yeah,
probably do one more before I race. So I'll probably do one either the start of next week or the end of this week, and then we'll taper. The next 2 weeks will
yeah,
be like just bringing mileage back down and just, but not too far down because I also had the feeling of like when you bring it too far down, for me anyway, when I've had like these big mileage weeks and then I automatically just drop it, my body then has all these niggles and stuff because it's used to
yeah,
this mileage. So I'll
yeah,
just bring it down slowly for the next 2 weeks, and then obviously race week
yeah,
will just be maybe a couple 5Ks,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
but yeah,
So what are some of the things you tried in your simulations, like according like food or how much carbs you eat, how fast are you running the loops?
yeah. So the loops will probably be, although it feels slow when you're fresh, like 50-minute loops, between
Yeah,
50 and 52-minute loops, because
yeah,
from what I've seen and who I've spoken to, like going slower is better in the day anyway. And then the
yeah,
night will probably look between like 43, 45.
mm-hmm,
I mean, you could push 40, but I just think for me that it's just not worth the energy expenditure. And again, this is all like perfect scenarios
yeah,
because I could
of
get to
course,
night two and be like, fuck, this feels too fast.
yeah,
Um, but this is perfect scenarios, and that's what I want to emphasize to my crew. Like, be adaptable because things could change in a loop. I could come back one loop, do 42 minutes, feel good. Next two loops, I do 42 again, and I'm like, that's too fast.
yeah.
So be adaptable and be willing to change and whatever. But a big thing is being able to sleep. And in this prep, I've done a lot of I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like Huber. It's called Huberman's like non-sleep deep rest.
Non-sleep deep rest. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah, I've been
Yeah,
doing a load of that, and it's super helpful for me. Not only just for recovery because I always feel great after, but just
yeah,
getting the body used to being shutting off.
yeah,
Being able to come in and just shut off. Again, I don't know how much is going to apply in real terms when my body's super fatigued, everything's screaming at me,
yeah,
whatever. But I've tried to like emulate that as much as possible because I do truly believe that sleep is how you go far in these events.
yeah,
From all the top guys, like that's why Harvey Lewis could only do, I say only, but do 58 loops at
mm-hmm,
G1M because he said he couldn't get back in time to sleep. So his body was just like leaking out. It's just like you bleed slowly. Whereas if you can
yeah,
get enough rest, even though it may be 5 minutes, that's enough to keep you going for the next loop and the next loop and the next loop. Um, so sleep's been a massive thing. And then in terms of carbs, again, I've just tried out a load of different foods, like making sure when I have done simulations every 3 to 4 hours, we're having a proper meal. Then in between that, carb mixes and like snacks, toast like bread.
yeah,
Um, but I'm also super key. I don't want to be having like just too much sugary stuff. I want to try keep it as much of a daily routine as possible. So
mm-hmm,
try stick to your breakfast, lunch, and dinners, and the snacks in between, and the carb mixes. And the night, I'm also not having too many big meals or too like harsh foods because in the night your body's used to sleeping, so it
yeah,
doesn't want to digest. So you want to just be having like liquid calories, carb mixes, fizzy drinks, or sweets if you really
yeah.
do need some food.
Gels and
Um,
stuff.
yeah, gels exactly. Just because your body's just not used to having to digest at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's just trying to make things as easy as possible on the body and the demands just that it needs to sort of carry. Um, so in terms of grammage, it'll probably be between 50 and 70 grams. I feel
okay,
like when I go above that, because of the paces I'm going at, my body just isn't having to work hard enough to consume more. For example,
mm-hmm.
like Kim was having near enough 100 grams at
Yeah,
G1M.
which is crazy, by the way. I don't know how
Crazy,
we
bro.
get it.
Like insane. And I was like, how is this fucking kid's stomach handling that?
Yeah,
But also it was hotter there. So your heart rate's higher, your body's working a bit harder.
yeah,
And when your body's working harder, you need to feed it more. So if it is hot in uh in LSU when we're doing it, I probably will up that a little bit. In terms of especially with like sodium as well, like we'll up everything just because your body is working a little bit harder. But from the
yeah,
simulations I've done, when I've gone past 70, my stomach's just like, bro, like we're going too slow. Like you're walking a lot of a 50-minute loop.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just like my heart rate and my body just isn't like working hard enough to warrant that. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna fuck myself. And again,
Yeah.
that's where it's important not to compare. And because that's what Alex tried to do a little bit. He tried to keep up with Kim's calorie thing when they did the 16-hour simulation in Texas, and he was like, my body just couldn't do it. And in the
Yeah.
second 8 hours, he went down in calories, carbs to like 50 grams, and his body handled it a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm also like a big advocate of yes, have all these things strategized and how much, but again, what I go back to is be willing to adapt. So if I'm saying I can't get this certain food down, okay, let's find a different variable. If that means slightly less carbs or slightly more carbs or whatever, or we just have to go pure liquid for a little bit, then we
Yeah.
do that. So yeah, I'm sort of ready for all scenarios. Hopefully, there's not a
Yeah.
random fucking scenario that happens. But
No
again,
storm again. No storm again.
oh, bro, that was insane. I really both backyards have had like crazy storms.
Yeah.
Texas more so, but LSU was nasty as well, just because the clothes were so wet, so we're always having to like heat up the clothes. I just hope it's just normal
Yeah.
weather. Touch
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah. I hope so too, man. I mean, we had some really hot weeks here in Germany. So,
Yeah.
but right now it's really nice. Like we got 22 degrees outside.
Oh, that's
It's
perfect.
it's a perfect running weather. It's
Yeah.
even at nights. It's like really nice here. So I hope it stays
Okay.
that way for your
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah. And for yours.
Yeah, for mine as well. I hope it stays away because
Exactly.
I really I mean I obviously was running when with the heats and stuff and everything,
Yeah.
but I just felt it because at night you couldn't sleep because it was fucking hot.
Bro, if
And
you haven't got AC or a fan, it's
yeah,
impossible. It's so
and I
hard.
got nothing, and then I'm like in the third um I don't know. I'm like high
Like
up in the
floor?
building.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So heat
third
rises.
floor,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And so it's really hot here, and then I just couldn't sleep, and then I woke up, and it's like 32 degrees already outside, and I'm waking up early so I can get a cool run in, like,
Yeah,
and like
it's crazy. Yeah,
you go out easy. You see your heart rate is just cooking, and you
yeah.
man, like
Bro,
it's
we had this similar thing in the UK, and it was just like there was like a couple of weeks
yeah,
where it was just like 34, 35, and I just used it as much as I could to run in because obviously it's
yeah,
heat training, and hopefully it pays dividends. If it gets hot in Germany over
yeah,
that weekend,
yeah.
we'll be ready. But sleeping in it and trying to recover in it is it's
Yeah,
disgusting.
it's disgusting. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
say it. I also took over your thing. I just call it your thing from
yeah,
you guys. I saw it at the G1M with the Sprite and stuff. The liquid carbs.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I really love that because as me and my friends we tried it at a
Mm.
simulation, and I was like, man, this is so easy. I just take my flask with me, put this stuff in, and like
Easy
it's
carbs,
easy
bro.
carbs down the drain, and I'm even like I want to drink it. Like it's not like
Yeah, it's
this
nice.
that thing.
The only thing I
So
would say, so we uncarbonated all of them. So the
yeah,
night
so you
before,
don't have the bubble. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Just because obviously carbonation on the stomach can bloat you a little bit. So
yeah,
everything was uncarbonated.
yeah,
Just if you hadn't done that, but if you've done that, then yeah, perfect.
yeah, yeah,
It's such like, especially the ones in America, they were like 50, 60 grams per bottle. I don't know what a normal bottle is, but
yeah,
like, bro, that is crazy. Like, it's so
yeah,
easy to get that in,
yeah,
especially in the night. Like, if you can just pop a few fizzy drinks every loop, you're chilling.
yeah,
Obviously, you're gonna then crave some proper food eventually, but
yeah. But
just to get
I
you
mean, it's
through,
good if you crave already normal food again, then
it's good. You
good.
want to
Yeah,
feel like you want to eat.
yeah,
The thing with the backyards and the ultras is people stop eating. They're like, nah, I can't. I'm too full,
yeah,
or I just can't stomach it, and that's when you have that decline.
yeah.
Um, which like again, Kim, luckily he was eating the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
he there wasn't one round where he didn't eat, and he had like
Okay.
snacks on him every round. So we like labeled. So the days before, me and Pavel, we calculated. We put it all into like little packets that he was going to take. We had like 80, 85 packets
Mm-hmm.
of sweets, crisps, like mixtures that he wanted, Kim wanted, and it had all the calories on it, the carbs on it. So we knew just like pulling out this packet, okay, boom, how much it was have, then we'd write it down.
Yeah.
So we knew every round what he was taking out, and he was smashing like between 300 500 calories. and between 50 and 100 grams every loop. And
That's
yeah, it was
yeah,
insane
so
how he
but
could like take the food on.
like, did you have to force him like, so man, you have to eat, or was he like
Not
already
really.
grabbing
Like
it
he was
and
willing. No, yeah, he was willing to just take it. Like if we gave it to him, he was having it like every time,
okay,
and then we would give him like a proper meal every 3 to 4 hours. Luckily, we had a big crew outside, so if he wanted like sushi or a wrap or whatever, someone was driving giving it. So that's obviously like a privilege that we were lucky to have because not everyone has that where someone can just
yeah,
go drive, especially in Texas because everything is so far away. Where someone can just go drive half an hour down the road, grab
yeah.
a wrap and then bring it back to him or a smoothie. Like I think Alina, she drove like an hour to get a smoothie that he wanted. Um, an hour there and an hour back,
Yeah,
2 hours worth of driving just
yeah,
to get this fucker a smoothie. So it's
yeah.
like, yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's completely crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So, but if you're um, you said you're feeling better than ever for the LSU,
yeah,
your body is ready, and
yeah,
um, when are you coming here? Like, so because in my
yeah,
experience, like traveling and stuff is really exhausting and thing. Like,
yeah.
are you coming here a week earlier, or is it?
Yeah, so I'm coming. So not a week early. I'm gonna come on the 11th, and me and my
Ah,
crew we have
okay, yeah,
an Airbnb that's like 20 minutes from 20 30 minutes from the where it is. I can't remember exactly the town of where it is, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
yeah,
Um, and it's not in Cologne like it was before. But yeah, I'm coming out 3 or 4 days before, and we're all staying at Airbnb just to prep everything because there's so much admin, especially because I'm coming from a different country. It makes it that much more difficult
yeah,
because luckily all my crew are from Germany, so stuff like tables, chairs,
yeah,
boxes, all of that I can borrow from them.
yeah,
I think Rapid are getting me a tent and an air mattress, so they'll have that on the day there.
yeah,
Um, but everything else will be either brought by me, but all the big things will be I'll get my crew, or if we have to go to a supermarket or whatever and buy it, we will. And then in terms of food, we'll just head to a supermarket, get everything we need, and then the next few days will just be spent like packaging,
yeah,
admin, seeing where
yeah,
everything's gonna go, making sure we have everything from like medical supplies. There's
yeah,
all sorts of like little things that you forget.
yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot I need to get, and something I'd like to recommend for you for your thing is a shower. So I saw,
Shower. Yeah.
yeah. So what we were doing with Kim, we were just like pouring water over and washing him because
Mm-hmm.
having a shower like in the morning and evenings is like
Mm-hmm.
it allows your brain to like refresh and it's like a
Yeah.
new period and it allows you to just feel better, new clothes, fresh socks, whatever.
Yeah.
But I saw a guy in an Australian backyard. He had a thing that he tied to a tree. You put water in it, and then you like open it and close it when you want it to come out. So you can like
Yeah.
open it, and it just falls on you like a normal shower, and you can like wash yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so that it's like called a camping shower or something.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, I
just
know.
something that I'm probably gonna have because I just know how key being clean and resetting is in the backyard,
Yeah.
especially if you want to go far, which I'm assuming you and your friends want to go somewhat far.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it would just be sorting out all things like that and
Yeah.
prepping food and
That's nice. I haven't really thought of it at like showering and thing. I mean, you know things like brushing your
brushing your
teeth and
teeth.
stuff,
Yeah, yeah, bro.
feeling
Everything.
fresh
Like,
and thing.
I think the biggest thing is getting there and accepting. Okay, this is home for the foreseeable. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
home. So let
Yeah.
me get it as close to home. So bring your pillows from your home. Like, get if you can get an air mattress, get an air mattress. Obviously, these are all expenses. They add up.
Yeah.
Backyards are super, super expensive.
Yeah. I know.
Um,
I know.
yeah, they're dirty. They're super expensive, and it's just trying to obviously within your budget try keep it as much as or as comfortable as you can. Even I'll even show you my shoes. I won't be wearing these shoes because these shoes have like nearly 2,000 kilometers in them. But these laces, so I took out my laces and put these on. So it's these little
Mm-hmm.
zip ties because what I found with Crew and Kim was doing the shoelaces was an absolute bitch, especially like I say a bitch like when you're 30, 40 hours in trying to tie someone's shoelaces and it means they
Yeah.
have to get up 30 seconds earlier or a minute earlier is a bit of a nuisance. Whereas
Yeah.
these zip ties, you literally just, so you undo it, they put their foot in, and then when
Yeah.
their foot's in, you just tighten it like that.
And you can buy the laces a single.
Yeah, so I bought these zip tie laces off Amazon, and then you
Yeah.
just take out the laces of your shoe and put these in, and it's just super easy to get on and off. Whereas with a lace, you have to undo and tie again.
Yeah.
Um, it was just something I found that was a bit of a nuisance when crewing Kim both times.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, when you get further in, the person doesn't want to always tie their shoelaces. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you're trying to tie it or whatever, it can just be a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
So just having, if you can save yourself 30 seconds over however
This
many
is
loops,
nice. Yeah.
exactly, bro.
Yeah.
So it's just a little thing. So I'll put these,
Yeah.
I'll probably bring like 3 pairs of shoes to LSU and I'll put
Yeah.
these on all of them.
Yeah. I love this,
Um,
man. I'm learning so much from myself here right now.
yeah, bro,
Yeah.
there's so many little things you pick up.
Yeah.
And that's the key to going far. It's like saving energy wherever you can.
Yeah.
That's why, like, even we put all the calories and stuff on these little packets, so we're not having to think. We just say, Kim, take that bomb. We know how many calories are in that. We'll
Yeah.
record it, whatever. Just take it, go.
Yeah.
And it's trying to keep everything as systemized as possible. But like I said, being willing to adapt or whatever, but having a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D.
Yeah.
And yeah, like going far in the backyard is so much more than just being able to run far.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, it's also for me. It's really interesting because I try to. I mean, obviously, I myself like took in a lot of information. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm
yeah,
watching like people doing backyards, and you can only learn so much. I think from watching them, you have to experience it. I think to really get to
yeah,
know it.
you've got to be there and like understand the
Yeah.
chaoticness of the. Have you been to any of the events now?
Nah, not
Yeah, yeah.
not
So
ever. Yeah.
you'll learn like a load.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like approach it instead of like, oh, how like, I want to go 30 loops or 20 loops, whatever it is you
Yeah.
want to go. Like approach it from just like, how much can I learn here? You know, use it
Yeah.
as just data. It's like you're just adding data to the thing because you want to be in this for years, yeah, like
Yeah.
running far, running fast, whatever. So just use it as data. How much can I download? And
Yeah.
if you're gonna go far, you're gonna go far.
Yeah.
And just trying to learn every loop. You know,
Yeah.
like if you realize, oh shit, this has gone wrong, this loop, we might need to change this or whatever. Be willing to just learn and adapt. Don't just let it like get worse. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because it's like also a big challenge for me. Your crew obviously is very like experienced and knows the sport and stuff.
Yeah.
Like my crew is like they're my best friends and
Yeah.
like I love them so much and I'm really happy they're doing this even for me because like I mean it's not like
Bro,
they're
it's a
going to
lot.
be there. They're going
Yeah,
to be
it's
there for a
commitment.
long time.
Mm,
They're going to stay awake a long time and like
mm.
also like have to do stuff and the building this thing coming a
Bro,
day
we've had
earlier
to like
everything.
wash. We had to wash Kim and everything.
Yeah,
Like you
like
get
this.
clothes and wash his feet. Like
Yeah,
pick up his pants, take off his dirty pants. Like, bro, this shit gets like
yeah.
you
I
get
mean,
personal.
it's not always pretty. I would say,
Yeah, exactly.
but it's a big challenge for me, like to because obviously I'm gonna like try to prepare them as well as good as possible because I know like as you said plan A, plan B, plan C, you have to be able to adapt and switch, but
Mm,
also like if I'm deep in, I can't think anymore.
yeah,
already know I'm gonna be cooked. Like uh, I can't do any decision right now, and I need them to think for me and like preparing them for thinking for me and doing the decisions for me is like a process I'm in right now,
yeah,
and trying to get them ready to decide.
yeah. That's
Ronan,
what I
you
mean.
have to do this right
If you
now.
can get as much systemized and like explain to them and stepwise, like what this is what we do, this is what we do,
Yeah,
then it will save you like loads of time and hassle
yeah,
down the line because they do
yeah,
become your brain. You know,
yeah,
you have to think. They have to think for you. They have to do for you, and they become you. All you do is
yeah,
run.
yeah,
Being the run is the easy bit. Crewing is
yeah.
even Kim when he crewed Pavel at the Green Loop, he was like, "Bro, crewing is way harder than the running."
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
it's just like it's
yeah,
just so much like you're constantly having to think, and it's just like I just want to run.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, you'll learn a load, and your crew will
Yeah,
learn a load. Just see it as a
yeah,
big learning opportunity, and then obviously suffer well.
yeah. I will. I will. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, man. I
No
mean,
worries.
you for taking this long time. It's not.
No, it's been fun. I've
Amazing.
enjoyed it.
Nice. I really enjoyed it
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Maybe
good.
you can have like give for the audience one last advice which you would give like for pushing in sports or like just mentality wise what helped you throughout your sports journey, athlete journey. Yeah.
Yeah, man, just lean into what your heart desires. And like true, like don't rush. Even that, like I'm still learning all this stuff myself, and just don't rush what your heart desires. Like don't force something or a direction that you want to go onto yourself because you've seen it's worked for others. Do what you want to do. Do the things that light your fucking face on fire, your heart on fire. Do the things that get you excited, that make when you get up, you're like, I want to do this, not, oh, I'm doing this because I have to. You know, you're doing
Yeah,
this because you get to, because you want to. And I think if you go in that direction, you can't go wrong. You know, if that is a backyard, if that is 100 miler, if that is a high rocks, if that is a marathon, if it is a certain business or whatever, like just drive towards what lights your heart on fire. And I think you can't go wrong. And work fucking hard. Like find what
yeah,
you love and then just be like what this is called driven by obsession, right?
yeah,
Be disgustingly obsessed about what you love. And
yeah,
you just can't go wrong, you know?
yeah,
You might like have to sacrifice some things, but it's never gonna feel like a sacrifice because it's like
yeah,
it's what you love to do.
yeah.
And
I love that,
that's
man.
all I would say, yeah, for people to follow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for
Um,
having me. Privilege.
yeah, of course, man. All your socials gonna be like below. You can check out Aaron there and watch this crazy man. And good luck for the LSU. Hopefully
Yeah,
everything
thank you. Good
goes
luck for
well
your
there.
backyard as well.
Yeah,
Luck.
thank you.
Do you have an
Yeah.
idea yourself of how far you want to go?
Um, it's pretty much what you said. Like
Mm.
I don't really want to cap myself because I think like if I say like something like this or that 30 hours, I my body shuts down and I will go like
Yeah.
out. But I would say I would be
Sorry, one
disappointed
second.
if yeah,
Sorry.
no problem.
Sorry. Yeah,
All
Karen.
good. All
Yeah.
I just would say I would be pretty disappointed if I land under 24 hours, I would say. But
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
never know what's happening.
Yeah.
So
Exactly,
yeah.
bro. Like even when you look at some of the best guys, I think was it the Big's backyard last year? There was the Polish guy, Lucas. Bearing in mind at Belgium backyard a few months ago, he done like 114
Yeah.
loops,
Yeah, I
but he
saw
was
that.
the previous world record holder. And at Big's backyard last year, he quit at 17 loops because his stomach was fucked. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this guy was meant to challenge Phil Gore, and he quit at 17 loops. Like you just don't know what can happen.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so just go in, yeah, with grace, and it's like
Yeah.
suffer well, and we move forward.
Okay. Perfect, man. Okay.
Yeah, stick. Thank you for having me
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah, no problem.